Around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Yeah.
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Yeah.
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
phela uyinzima. Hard work I am. Ngivuke ekuseni ngenza uhlelo, kumele benza njalo. I hold myself impumelelo. Sesiseduze nayo. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shamatana mani. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shamatana mani. Yes, yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. She got the shamatana mani. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shamatana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. She got the shamatana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana.
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
phela isuyinzima. Hard work I am. Ngivuke ekuseni ngenza uhlelo, kumele ngabenza njalo. I hold myself impumelelo. Sesiseduze nayo. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana mani. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana mani. Yes, yes, makanana. Yes, yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. She got the shama jana mani. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. She got the shama jana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana.
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
phela inzima. Hard work I am. Ngivuke ekuseni ngenza uhlelo melela benza njalo. I hold myself impumelelo. Sesiseduze nayo. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shigepisha machari mani. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shigepisha machari mani. Ilesh makanana. Ilesh makanana. Ilesh makanana. Shigepisha machari mani. Shilohini makanana, Shilohini makanana, Shilohini makanana, Shigepisha machari, Ilesh makanana, Ilesh makanana, Ilesh makanana, Ilesh makanana, Shigepisha machari, Ilesh makanana, Ilesh makanana,
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
phela isuyinzima. Hard work I am. Ngivuke ekuseni ngenza uhlelo, kumele ngabenza njalo. I hold myself impumelelo. Sesiseduze nayo. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana mane. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana mane. Yes, yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. She got the shama jana mane. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. She got the shama jana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana.
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
phela isuke inzima. Hard work I am. Ngivuke ekuseni ngenza uhlelo, kumele ngabenza njalo. I hold myself impumelelo. Ngathi siseduze nayo. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana mane. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana mane. Yes makanana. Yes makanana. Yes makanana. Yes makanana. She got the shama jana mane. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama jana. Yes makanana. Yes makanana. Yes makanana. Yes makanana. She got the shama jana. Yes makanana. Yes makanana. Yes makanana. Yes makanana.
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
phela isuke inzima. Hard work I am. Ngivuke ekuseni ngenza uhlelo, kumele ngabenza njalo. I hold myself impumelelo. Sesiseduze nayo. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama Jarman. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama Jarman. Yes, makanana. Yes, yes, makanana. Yes, yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. She got the shama Jarman. Shilo ini. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. Shilo ini makanana. She got the shama Jarman. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. She got the shama Jarman. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana. Yes, makanana.
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
kuyabikwa angikhathali eyonto phela isuke inzima hard work I am ngivuke ekuseni ngenza uhlelo kumele ngabenza njalo I owe myself impumelelo sesiseduze nayo
Shilo ini makanana Shilo ini makanana Shilo ini makanana Shigepisha machari mani Shilo ini makanana Shilo ini makanana Shilo ini makanana Shigepisha machari mani Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana Shigepisha machari mani Shilo ini makanana Shilo ini makanana Shilo ini makanana Shigepisha machari mani Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana Shigepisha machari mani Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana Yilesh makanana
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series fits in with what you are trying to do with these young people.
The reality is that private funders do not just thoughtlessly throw their resources around.
It is one thing to get a backtrack like that for a finance guy, hey?
Somebody just WhatsApped me to say that she has a daughter who has hearing loss.
Corruption in South Africa has reached disgraceful levels.
First things first, let's get to my daily that's my point feature. So, did you see Cristiano Ronaldo cry yesterday?
This is SAFM.
Music never sleeps, and neither do we.
Park in Mpumalanga and Limpopo are still suspended due to heavy rains. Several areas of the northern sections of the park are flooded, resulting in damage to bridges and roads infrastructure. I'm on Delambana for SAFM News Headlines at 1:30.
SAFM. Do great solutions start with good conversation? SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
The journey of 24 African nations has reached the final kick. 2021 closes the curtain with the hosts. The Lions of Teranga confronts the Atlas Lions. Who are the real lions of Africa? This is the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Experience the final between Senegal and Morocco this Sunday, 18 January, starting with the closing ceremony at 7 p.m. and build up at 8 p.m. Live on SABC Plus, SABC 2 and SABC Sport on TTT Channel 4. Then on SABC radio stations at 9 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2025. It's game on everywhere.
For the love of the game.
When you train for results, you don't quit halfway. Earn up to 7.35% interest with a Nedbank Just Invest account. Access your money within 24 hours. Keep your money agile. Get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. For more information, visit nedbank.co.za. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Hey, I'm Michelle Msalakai. If you are into nail-biting drama, then catch your girl on a brand new telenovela and a new era on SABC2.
The journey of 24 African nations has reached the final kick. 2021 champions closes the curtain with the hosts. The Lions of Teranga confronts the Atlas Lions. Who are the real lions of Africa? This is the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Experience the final between Senegal and Morocco this Sunday, 18 January, starting with the closing ceremony at 7 p.m. and build up at 8 p.m. Live on SABC Plus, SABC 2 and SABC Sport on TTT Channel 4. Then on SABC radio stations at 9 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2025. It's game on everywhere.
For the love of the game.
What if your child could achieve better academic results in 2026? At Teneo School, they can. Our smart school system tracks every learner in real time and helps teachers spot gaps early. The results? With over 3,500 successful Teneo School matriculants, learners improve their average marks by 12% in the first year. Access affordable private schooling, no restrictive entry, fees starting from 3,000 Rand per month. Enroll now for 2026 at teneoschool.co.za. That's TENEO school.co.za.
The Reds chase victory to rise higher in the top half.
That's a lovely ball. Goal! So simple. Hugo Ekitike is into double figures for Liverpool. Left completely unmarked.
Meanwhile, the Clarets are highly motivated to dish out orders at Anfield.
Nice ball. Ikechukwu. It's a leveler. Barely a level. Leslie Ikechukwu with a really calm finish.
This is the Premier League. Witness Liverpool FC versus Burnley FC on Saturday, 17 January at 4:30 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC 3. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
As we celebrate 90 years of existence, SAFM takes you back to the voices that shaped a nation.
Now leave the SABC and see the tower block lit up, 27 stories of light. Move from Auckland Park into the shadow of the Hillbrow Post Office Tower.
This is the English service of the SABC. Here is the news, read by Patricia Carr. A member of the Planning Committee of the President's Council, Mr. Nick Turnich, has been appointed chairman of the Council's Community Relations Community.
90 years of trusted voices. This is SAFM.
From the shows that bring us laughter to the moments that inspire us, your SABC TV license makes it all possible. Every license paid supports local stories, top talent, and the programs that unite South Africa. Pay your TV license today. Visit tvlic.co.za or your nearest retail outlet. Your screen, your story. Together, we make it happen.
63-year-old Almero knows all about saving with Outsurance.
We do save 417 Rand. That's about 5,000 Rand a year.
That's an awesome saving on Almero's 2021 Ford Ranger.
And there's an out bonus that you get if you don't claim for 3 years. I am really looking forward to it.
How much money could Outsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 30754. That's out to 30754. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Mzansi, Powerball has reached a mega 165 million Rand estimated jackpot this Friday. That's one of the highest jackpots to hit the country. Play Powerball for an estimated 165 million Rand jackpot today for your chance at greatness. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. eTuba is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
7-time record holders and 3-time continental champions are chasing the bronze medal. The Pharaohs tackles the Super Eagles. Who will finish third? This is the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Catch the third place battle between Egypt and Nigeria this Saturday, 17 January at 5:30 p.m. live on SABC Plus and SABC2. Then on SABC radio stations at 6 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2025. It's game on everywhere.
For the love of the game.
This festive season, the Department of Transport is appealing to all drivers, passengers, and pedestrians. Obey the rules of the road and ensure your vehicle is roadworthy. In the past few days alone, over 2,500 vehicles stopped at roadblocks were found with worn-out tires. Tires in poor condition are extremely dangerous, especially at high speeds, where a blowout can cause fatal crashes. Drivers, please check your vehicles before you travel. Brought to you by the Department of Transport, moving South Africa forward.
Hey Mzansi, I'm Matli Mohapelwa. Join me on the all-new telenovela Unraveling on SABC2, where a new era begins.
I don't love school. I don't love trying to learn like everyone else learns and falling behind when I don't understand. But I do love learning. I do love working to my own schedule and getting the support when I need extra help. I do love UCT Online High School because I do love my future. Apply online before the 19th of January.
Mzansi, Powerball has reached a mega 165 million Rand estimated jackpot this Friday. That's one of the highest jackpots to hit the country. Play Powerball for an estimated 165 million Rand jackpot today for your chance at greatness. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. eTuba is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
You are listening to The Full Circle.
I would die 165 million. You would never hear my voice again. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. We just played the Lotto ad just as a reminder of that big jackpot for tonight. But hey, listen, we're breaking quickly from the ad hoc committee that's happening in Parliament. Just to give you a little bit of a timestamp and a time check, it's gone 1:15, and ordinarily this would be the lunch break for the ad hoc committee, but they're still proceeding as they took a break just before 12 o'clock, and so they're proceeding with that question and answer session with the Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo in the hot seat and currently fielding questions from MK parliamentarians. So we're going to commence with that and continue and ride it through. We can't tell you concretely as to when their next break is, but we'll keep our ears to the ground. Lots of information coming out today as well. Lots of probing coming out today as well, pertaining to some of the bold statements that he made yesterday. In fact, yesterday he made a statement saying that almost the entire Gauteng SAPS is in bed in some way or another with the cartels. And this morning, a large part of the conversation was around that, to say, well, how does the collective number of about 38,000 members of SAPS in some shape or form all are compromised, and it became a matter of languaging and context. But yes, a lot of those questions unpacking a lot of the statement that he set out in yesterday's sitting with the ad hoc committee in Cape Town. Let's go back to that.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee live on SAFM.
A JPE member, I think Mokhatle, is taking 500 rand from Mr. Mulife for taking 500 rand from Mr. Mulife for registering cars. Did you charge Mokhatle for that? Because that's criminal.
The process so far, we have submitted the report to the department, which is JMPD. From our side, that is one of the dockets that are with the NPA for decision.
I guess there's negligence and indolent as far as these matters are concerned, in a sense that they drag for too long, because our people, abantu angibeke ngesikhethu, abantu ekhaya bayacomplaina ngokuthi mhlambe imraro le eyenza ukuthi kube nongwarangwarana, kusho ukuthi mangikhuluma ngongwarangwarana kusho ukuthi kuna these personality clashes between the security clusters, in a sense that abantu abasanakhona confidence ngendlela izinto ziragwa ngakhona la ekhaya, ngikhuluma ngekhaya, ngikhuluma ngeSouth Africa, ukuthi when it comes to the judiciary, in fact, one member, unfortunately, we spoke about the issue of the judiciary for a very long time. He's been complaining for years that the judiciary is corrupt, the judiciary is captured. And as we sit here, we know today that there's one judge who's on bail in the issue of Usandlane. I think it's a church-related matter. But she's not the only one. And I guess that as a core committee, it's not about you, General, on this one. We have to take a decision on that matter, because we can't make allegations and it ends as allegations. I know that nina njengabantu abantu kanjalo aba responsible for the safety of South African citizens. There's nothing wrong of what you did, and I'm going back to that issue of the minister, because we have to connect the dot. The court will decide whether a right investigation of what, or let me put it, your findings, whether we are correct, is not upon you. Your job is to investigate, and hence I'm saying to you, there's nothing wrong of what you guys did when it comes to the issue of the minister, because the issue of disbandment as well, whether Mukhotsi, Ket Matlala, and General Sibia were, according to the statement which you put before us, for me, from where we are sitting as Umkhonto Wesizwe, we believe that there's nothing wrong which was committed by you as an investigating officer or any state agents, because those are investigations. You haven't judged the minister as yet. The court will decide. And hence I was saying to you earlier, there's nothing wrong with that. But coming to this General, I'm going to pose a few quick questions for you as well. I'm going to say to you, because I don't want, in fact, let me just leave the matter of this PKTT, because we've traversed that matter on several occasions with different witnesses here, and my colleagues have done so earlier. But I can't ignore it, because you remember that in March 2024, given that the IMC was not briefed, can you help us to understand what does it mean for the minister without consulting SSA? Because remember, it was not only the only SAPS. In one way, was the minister correct to disband the PKTT without these other agencies?
As per my response in my affidavit, I will still maintain that, according to my view, it was not correct for the minister to disband the PKTT the way it was disbanded.
I will agree with you on that, because when you look at KZN, I look at your statements here, the killings of traditional leaders and political activists. And besides that, there was a task team which was established, I think a month earlier, before this task team was disbanded, which for me means that there was an ulterior motive. But the court will give us the facts if we are right, as this matter is still an ongoing matter. On page 207, when you refer to a provincial commissioner who instructed Brigadier Nkwachu to retrieve the dockets in relating to the investigation into Mr. Katiso Molefe, are you referring to the provincial commissioner of Gauteng?
Yes, that is correct.
Is that a normal procedure for a provincial commissioner to intervene, specific with criminal dockets, to the extent of even threatening a member of SAPS and intimidating them to take action on what seems to be an operational questionable instruction, as you agree that I'm not sure, let me not put weight into weight. Is it correct for the provincial commissioner to do that?
It is for that reason, Honorable Chair, we included that on our timeline that is raising suspicions, because there are lots of unfamiliar actions that are coming then on that instruction of the 16th of April. The provincial commissioner is supposed to do that through the deputy provincial commissioner responsible for crime detection.
In relation to Matlala's phone, I want to, I think, try to find out about this, because Advocate Johnson was here. Did Advocate Johnson lie to the committee? Let me say this on record. When she gave evidence that the phone was tampered with, why do you think she will come here and mislead the committee? And what motive, in your view, was he trying to get from the committee here?
The assertion by the head of IDEC made one to grow in the suspicions of the whole event. As I was narrating, we were busy with the downloading of the phones, but then the pressure that we received through the National Commission from IDEC to hand over the phones. Up until today, we do not know which investigation IDEC was busy with. So that also adds in our suspicions that the reason might be wanting to know what is it that we know, sent by someone, because hence the phones were quickly, the poor DFI complying with the instructions from the national commissioners and heads of IDEX. That's why the phones had to package without switching them off, because it was, but up until today, the only thing that I instructed, that I had power to do, I said, investigating officer and the commander, you sit, you don't get out of the room when they download. Until they were done, they must reseal in front of you and hand. It happened within 2-3 hours. But that raised suspicions from us as to what was the reason. Somewhere in other circles, there is a question, what is the rush? Because if you have been investigating Kat Matlala and you hear that there is a team that has charged him and they are in possession of his phones and they are still working on his phones, why can't you wait and thereafter you request? So it's those facts that makes us include issues like that in my affidavit.
Kat Matlara mentioned several people, you know, when we visited him at the Kgoshi Mampuru, that he was close to both General Shibiri, General Sibia. He then said General Sibia is the most powerful job at SARS because he's able to redirect any target. Is that true?
It's a misinformation and misplaced. Or it does not have those powers to redirect any docket. As a Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, he is responsible for the policies as well as to ensure that that function takes place. But people that are owning the dockets starting from lower level, first is the station commander. That's why then each and every case is given the station name. And then from there is the district commander to the provincial commissioner. At national level, we do not have a police station. There is no case numbers for us as divisions.
So in other words, with those 121 dockets, General Sibia was completely wrong to have ordered those dockets to where they were kept for 5 months.
In my view, yes.
Before Jerry Bukhoshi was taken, we are told that there was an argument. Where is that matter? Because we are told Jerry Bukhoshi is still not found as we speak here.
As I highlighted during my evidence yesterday, that the team has recently got back the docket. Then the team then is in the process of attempting to revive the investigation that was done up until the 6th of December 2024 in order then, one, to find the victim of kidnapping and also to find those responsible.
Now, the wife of Jerry Bukhoshi, I'm not sure whether, did you get the WhatsApp, the voice note which she sent to say the husband is crying for help? Did you ever get such a thing?
I think I got a report from the team summarizing that WhatsApp on their reports.
Yesterday, and I think in your submission, you spoke about Mashele, you spoke about Tehas, which you said that Mashale, in fact, is a Dinsrangel former member of SAPS as well. Am I right?
That's correct.
Now, you said that there's a group of former policemen and women in the WhatsApp group elsewhere. Am I right?
That's correct.
Most of those people, in fact, because there are many, maybe you can't name them. And you said that there's a parallel team in some of the investigation, which is improper. Am I right if I heard you well?
That's correct.
Now, I'm going back to where I was earlier. The arrest of Mulife. You said that there was an helicopter roving around. Was that from your division or was it from the other division, DPCI?
The helicopter was from the structure that is in Gauteng provincial government, and it is then have the direct links and memorandum of understanding with DPCI. So we learned that after then our investigation, we got this affidavit from the pilot, we got the affidavit from the one who activated the pilot. That's when then we became aware that even the helicopter was activated from the DPCI route.
Now, why was who's this guy? I think is it Mokhatle, the one we spoke about from JPMD. What was his interest in the matter of Molefe, in your view? And why there were so many security state agents when Molefe was arrested?
Firstly, according to our understanding, after the whole event, we looked at an officer from JMPD as a go-to guy who is providing then information as quickly as possible for Molefe if there is something suspicious. And he confirmed that he is very close to him. That is Officer Mohale confirming. So the whole festivities that happened during that day and during that operation opened our eyes, and we are just lucky, maybe if I may put it, because in terms of our planning, we did not foresee what happened. We had very few members there that were outnumbered by the sympathizers, private persons, the security detail of Molefe, and the DPCI contingents and the helicopters and so we were just lucky that there is somewhere in my statement, my affidavit, when I say if it was not for PKTT, Katiso Molefe will not have been arrested. Fortunately for us, in the PKTT, we have assembled and trained a team that is very capable of doing whatever that needs to be done.
Ngifuna ukuthokoza noch ngisesena minute 4. Let me just finish it off by saying uthe uthi sekuna 2 ukhipha 2. Mara ngifuna ukuthi ke General Khumalo and your team, I know ukuthi this matter, it's like any other matter. South Africans, abantu bekhaya apha, they are very disappointed the way ngendlela ezinye izinto ziragwa ngakhona. Isho ukuthi i-issue, I know bathi ngizaba isiqeda mzini. I-issue ka Senzomeyiwa noma isecourt nje. Sibonile siyabona. Umakhe is crying. Uyalila umntanakhe. Ukuthi tot namhlanje akahelebheki noma indaba leyiseyisecourt because ngathi babona ngathi amapolisa idocket leya bayimorosa. Ngamanye amagama kube ne-interference when it comes to idocket. I know ukuthi ngu-divisional head we-crime intelligence, nguwe ophethe i-crime intelligence. And akunento ongayenza, you can't interfere in that matter. Mara ngibawa ukuthi udlulise ngoba ngayidlulisa into le ku-commissioner. Ukuthi amapolisa sewabawa ngoba abantu bekhaya apha bathembele kiwo for ukuthi baqale into zabo. Kungaba kuhle ukuthi kiyo wonke ama-case akhona akhakha basiphathe kuhle ngoba sithindeke kakhulu izolo masizwa uthi almost 90% yamapolisa eGauteng akhona endweni ezithinteka nalabantu abenza izinto ezirong. ingebengu nabantu laba aba-extort abantu nje abenza into eziphumile ezingekho emthethweni. Lethu lokugcina lithi akunento wrong amapolisa enikwenzako, because remember manibopha umuntu ama-allegations lawa khona yikhotho ezayenza into leyo. In other words, I'm saying there's nothing wrong about, I want to emphasize that. I've got nothing against the Minister of Police. It's not personal. But there's nothing wrong as far as we are concerned as Umkhonto, up to what we have seen now. Ngoba uGeneral Mkhwanazi ngezi-6 zangoJuly anginento wrong ayenzako, usivula amehlo sonke, and sibawa ukuthi nimhelebhe nibe nesibindi. Akukho lula ukuthi ingihuluphelo zabantu abanzima in this country, the wishes of our people and their dreams must not be in vain. Ngoba sithemthembele kunina ngaphandle kwenu asikakaphephi. Ngalawo magama ngithi man nibambe la nibambe khona, ngiyangithokoza emgcini sihlalo.
Thank you so much, Honorable Skosana. Bare muja morago ke kgosi. Sometimes we tolerate you as the last speaker, hoping that you will say the last word and you end up taking a minute. Before we conclude, we are going to give to Advocate Arens. I just want to check one or two things with you, General. Advocate Batoi, when she was here, she said to us that the reason why investigations could have been jeopardized in the Senzo Meyiwa case was because there were multiple teams from the SAPS that went there doing parallel investigations on one case. And you say to us here that when you were dealing with one case, there was a situation where the Deputy National Commissioner also appointed a parallel team to go and work on the same case, and eventually the docket was even taken away from the other team. Did I hear you correctly?
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
How rife is such a practice on cases? Because now we have more than one cases where something like that happens, where you have parallel teams investigating on the same cases. How rife is that in the SAPS?
Thank you, Chair. That is very rife. The investigation has become now an opportunity to do wrong things, depending as to especially the high-profile investigations, because there might be a team that wants to get in so as then they further their negative objectives of extorting monies from those that are or might be responsible. So that is rife. Hence, the methodology of the PKTT, as I've been explaining it yesterday, there is only one investigating officer and the rest are experts, and they are all owning that docket. One of the reasons why it's not easy for us to implement this methodology that will help on the issue that Chairperson is raising is it makes the chances of corruption, this approach makes the chances of corruption to be very slim. because there is no IO who's owning the docket. The docket is owned. In fact, the accusations that I've received is I give the dockets to people that are not investigating officers. The docket remains with the analysts that are unpacking it every day. When the IO comes back with a statement, they take that statement and then they analyze it against all the evidence that they have in their respective analysis fields. So the docket is owned by the whole team, is not owned by. So Khumalo is a problem with the PKTT because this methodology that is implementing makes it impossible then for that tendency of removing the dockets to whichever team that you will want.
So the involvement of this supernumeraries, because I mean you can imagine once you have more than one team, it means the numbers are unnecessarily bloated in one case. So the involvement of this supernumeraries is driven by a more than sufficient interest in the case.
That is correct, Honorable Chair, because it happens on mainly the high-profile investigations or high-profile cases. Hence, then, I will also add, Chair, that the comments that are talking to what is Khumalo doing, because he's the divisional commissioner, doing in the particular investigation. And if you get those questions coming from the leaders of the institutions, and then one suspects that it's because there are lots of dockets that if they fall on the way of Khumalo's methodology, then all the truth will come out.
So in cases where supernumeraries have been involved, what has been the rate of success?
On the high profile?
Yeah. Because you can see now the picture you are giving us here that there is competing interest from members of the SAPS themselves. So how does that impact on the success of the case? I'm here looking for justice. Yourselves in the office are jostling for space in my case. What is the prospect? What have been the prospects of success in cases like in such high-profile cases?
The chances are very slim, or if they are successes, and they will be having challenges, like in the case referred to by the honourable member, the Senzo Meiwa case. So the chances are very slender.
So the victims becomes, number one, the victims of a crime committed against them. And number two, they become victims of sinister motives by SAPS officials.
That is correct.
Can we attribute the reasons why it has taken us so long in the Senzo Meiwa case to practices like those?
It's very possible because as the information on hand points towards the involvement of many teams in that investigation from the beginning.
And in the case where you were involved, where the deputy commissioner appointed a parallel team, how has that affected the work of that team?
I pointed it out, Chairperson, Honorable Chair, that we were starting with the operationalization of the intelligence and evidence that we had on hand on the 6th of December 2024. Now, when then we were halted, and then it affected the investigation, because now after almost after a year, that docket is coming back, and then we have to go back and check as to what is it that is still there. It's like starting from scratch.
Honorable James has asked you about the 2021 case at the Durban Harbour, where a container with a consignment of about 500 million or more was detected by the police. Do you still remember that incident?
Yes, I do, Honorable Chair.
Did I hear you properly that the consignment from the container was offloaded by SAPS officials?
It was the statement by the honorable member, but I concur with her in terms of the reports that we have.
You are concurring with the statement that she made?
Yes, sir.
And that the consignment was transported from Durban to Johannesburg?
Yes, we confirm.
Okay, and then in the position, because it's 5 years now since 2021, maybe 4 years and some months to complete 5 years. In the position that you are as the divisional head of intelligence, can I assume that you know those people who, or any person who would have been in that position before you? Can I assume that those officials who offloaded the consignment and transported it from Durban to Johannesburg are known in the SAPS or to the authorities? Can I make that assumption?
Yes, we can make that assumption, Honorable Chair.
And then are those officials still in the employ of the SAPS?
It's very possible, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very, very difficult one. Okay, no, it's fine. Let's move to the next point. And this one here was made by yourself when you were responding to some questions raised by Honorable Sangoni. You say that we have picked a lot of people that have interacted with Mr. Matala on exchange of money. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Among those people that you have picked are the SAPS officials?
That is correct, Honorable Chair.
And amongst those SAPS officials, would there be those that would have received money from Mr. Matala?
That is correct.
And these officials, in the position where you are, or anybody who would have been in this position that you currently are incumbent, would have reported to the SAPS authorities that, because my assumption is that when you do intelligence work, you don't do it for yourself or your family. You don't compile reports. There is somewhere where those reports go. And obviously the authorities that are reported to have this information about these officials who transported a cocaine consignment from Durban to Johannesburg, they know about another set of officials who will call and say, hey, Menier man, hey, go to Shenyana, man. And then the authorities know about these activities, to your knowledge, or are there still reports that are being compiled which will be sent for the attention of the authorities? But for sure, my assumption is that in part or in parts, some information has already gone through to the authorities.
That's what I can confirm, Honorable Chair, that from our investigation that we're busy with, based on my statement that the chairperson referred to, there are reports that have been submitted already on some of the individuals to the respective principals.
Now, let me talk to your conscience now, because when she asked you a question here about any possibilities or prospects of you working together in the SAPS, you said, yeah, no, we still have a chance that we can work together. Out of conscience, let's say you put a helmet of integrity on your head and a badge of conscience on your chest. Can you walk into a boardroom of the SAPS and draw a strategic plan for the SAPS with me that you know that this is a confirmed criminal?
It has been happening like that, Chairperson.
I want to know, can you walk conscientiously into that boardroom? Look, the reports are there with the authorities. It might have been you or your predecessor or any other person. You have compiled reports to say, this is what is happening. We have evidence. We present it before you. Then an honorable member of parliament said, General Khumalo, is there still an opportunity for you as the leadership of the SAPS to work together and salvage this institution and make it an institution of choice or a servant of the people of South Africa? You said yes. Yes. So now, as a conscious citizen or an employee working for a government that seeks to achieve developmental objectives, how do you consciously walk into a lion's den? You know there is a mother, a voiceless mother, vulnerable, who does not have anybody to stand for her. With the information that you have, you know who killed her child. And the person who killed that child or people who are in cahoots with those criminals, they sit at the highest echelon and plan a strategic, what do you call this, APP, an annual performance plan of a department, and say this is how we are going to fight crime as the SAPS in the country. How do you, General Khumalo, how do you consciously walk in such corridors?
Thank you, Chair. What makes me to respond positively was because one looks at these processes that are currently on and the stance that some of us have taken, that if we can then resolve these issues and we remove those that we have identified as being then on that other wrong side, we are still positive that we can turn the corner.
I'm asking you the last two questions. First of the last will be, how long, or based on your observation or assessment of the way the SAPS currently operates, how long, if we were to leave everything to yourselves as the SAPS without any intervention from the executive or parliament, how long would it take for the SAPS to deal with these rogue elements within itself? Or is there any opportunity that by itself, without anybody's intervention, is there any opportunity that the SAPS can deal with these virulent elements?
It's not easy to determine the timelines, Honorable Chair, because it's a process. If the matter has to follow the criminal route, we have been talking to the criminal justice system, and there are these parallel structures throughout the criminal justice system that are created. So it won't be easy for one to determine, because it's not about SAPS having all the powers. From the side of using the internal disciplinary procedures, it needs the SAPS top management to prioritize that and work on it. It won't come with the results overnight. As I made an example of our division currently, that is not
But okay, let me speak like a member of the public who is looking for justice. Is it possible that within the SAPS, the people who killed Babita Deokaran are known?
Within the SAPS, it's possible.
Is it possible that the people who killed within the SAPS,
yes, it's possible,
or officials of the SAP, it is possible that one of the officials of the SAPS knows who killed Babita Deokaran?
It's possible, Chair.
And is it possible that within the SAPS there is an official who knows the people who killed Witness D?
It's possible.
Is it possible that within the SAPS there is an official who knows the people who killed DJ Waras?
Very possible again, Chair.
And many other victims whose names are not being mentioned.
Yes.
Is it possible that there could have been SAPS officials involved in the murders of those victims?
Looking at the.
You have just mentioned the murder of Swart,
yes,
that there was an SAPS official involved.
That's exactly why my response has been a yes, because I was saying, looking at our experiences, in one of the cases, I think there are about 3 or 4 cases, political-related cases in KZN, we had 2 members of the shift that was hired as
like the case of Sindiso Makaka.
Yes.
Where you say that the gun that was used to kill him comes from crime intelligence.
It's all those experiences that makes one to respond positive on your questions, Chairperson.
Okay. So my last question to you would be then to say, in the light of the picture that you have presented before us, the shenanigans that happen within the police officials themselves, and the escalating levels of crime where the onslaught against the public goes unabated. And with the seemingly state of paralysis that is there in the SAPS, because it's like it has been disabled. It can't arrest criminals, but it knows who the criminals are. What are the recommendations that you are making before this House of Parliament? That if the following were to be done, we think we can get the SAPS right, whether in terms of legislative interventions, in terms of policy, operational, daily operations, anything. What are the strategic interventions that you think can be done to help the SAPS to be an institution of choice for the people of South Africa?
Thank you, Chair. is firstly, according to my opinion, is to continue cleaning out the rogue elements.
On the top stories, clashes erupt outside Addington Primary School in Durban and tourism activities suspended in Mpumalanga and Limpopo. For SAFM News, I am Onde Lambana, and a very good day. Clashes have erupted between foreign nationals, members of the Umkhonto weSizwe Party, as well as lobby group March and March outside the Addington Primary School in Durban. The MKP and March and March are protesting against the admission of children of foreign nationals at the school. The protests started when schools reopened on Wednesday. The protesters claim that the school failed to place more than 50 South African children because children of foreign nationals have taken spaces. Police had to step in to separate the groups. March and March founder Jacinta Ngobese.
Way before July or June, we've been saying prioritize South African children. They've been coming here, they've got proof of the forms and everything. And I'm saying, as a principal of a school or as a Department of Education, how do you decide that let me give or allocate the spot to a Nigerian or a Congolese or Ethiopian from God knows wherever country they're from, over a South African who submitted the documents at the same time, because they're trying to use this excuse of us South Africans being late.
Neither the school nor the school governing body could be reached for comment. Tourism activities at the Kruger National Park in Mpumalanga and Limpopo are still suspended due to heavy rains. Several areas of the northern sections of the park are flooded, resulting in damage to bridges and roads infrastructure. Staff members at the Satara Rest Camp have been evacuated. The camp has since been closed as water and electricity supply is disrupted. Sandpark's spokesperson is JP Lowe.
This measure is implemented in the interest of guests as well as the safety of staff. Access to the park will be strictly limited to essential delivery vehicles, airport transfers, subject to proof of confirmed flight bookings, guests with existing overnight bookings at Bergendal, Pretoria Kop, and Skukuza rest camps, as well as essential staff members will be allowed into the park. Open gate has been closed following overnight flooding on Thursday, the 15th of January. Guests exiting the park are urged to monitor updates on road conditions outside Kruger National Park, as several provincial and regional roads are also affected by the flooding.
Crime intelligence head Dumisani Khumalo says some journalists are working with criminal cartels in the country. He was testifying before Parliament's ad hoc committee. Earlier this week, former acting National Police Commissioner Khumutso Phahlane also testified and named the journalists that allegedly tried to discredit him. The committee is investigating allegations of criminal infiltration, corruption and political interference in the justice system. Khumalo says investigations into the journalists are underway.
We have identified some that we believe that they might be part of the communication department of the cartel, and then the investigation is still ongoing on that part.
Defense Minister Angie Motshekga has launched a board of inquiry to look into Iran's participation in the BRICS naval exercises in Simonstown in the Western Cape this week. In a statement, the department says the inquiry will seek to establish whether President Cyril Ramaphosa's instructions regarding Iran's participation were misrepresented or ignored. Motshekga said the instructions were clearly communicated to all parties concerned, agreed upon, and were therefore supposed to be implemented and adhered to. The Board of Inquiry must establish all the facts and table a report to the minister in 7 days. A government source earlier confirmed to SABC News that Iran was asked to withdraw from the drills, but the Iranian corvette Nadi participated in the sea phase exercise. President Cyril Ramaphosa is hosting his counterpart from Madagascar, Colonel Michael Radianira, in Pretoria. Radianira took over from ousted President Andry Rajoelina following the coup in the island nation last year. Regional bloc SADC had to step in after Madagascar experienced political instability. Kylie Khumalo has more.
South Africa has expressed concern over Madagascar's recent political developments, calling for calm and respect for democratic processes. Pretoria says it supports peaceful resolution, upholding of democracy, rule of law, and sustainable development in Antananarivo. The two countries established diplomatic relations in 1994 and have signed several bilateral agreements, including air transports, merchant shipping, science and technology. Kylie Kumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Recapping the top story, clashes have erupted between foreign nationals, members of Umkhonto weSizwe Party, as well as lobby group March on March outside the Addington Primary School in Durban. I'm on Delambada for SFM News headlines at 2:30.
Who says talking never solves anything? SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. As the nation seeks answers, SAFM brings you live, uninterrupted coverage of Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee investigating allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. You can also stay up to date with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into criminality, political interference, and corruption in the criminal justice system. Stay informed, stay connected. Tune in live on SAFM 104 to 107 and follow the coverage across our digital platforms live on Facebook, X, and YouTube at SAFM Radio. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. As we celebrate 90 years of existence, SAFM takes you back to the voices that shaped a nation.
Berea, the home of the four bespectacled Tisson brothers, all of whom work or have worked on the English service, particularly Audio Mix and Radio Today. Watch how the night proceeds towards dawn.
And
I need a lot of consoling when I started the early program. People couldn't believe that John O'Donnell and B. Reid were chosen for the early morning program, because if ever two announcers used to want to swap a morning shift for an afternoon shift, John and I would do it.
90 years of trusted voices. This is SAFM. Every day, Rand Water's underground pipelines run through servitudes across the country, carrying millions of litres of water to our communities. But when people build too close, it's called encroachment, and it's very dangerous. If a pipeline bursts, it can flood homes, destroy property, and in many cases, people lose their lives. That's why Rand Water marks its servitudes with blue and white beacons, a clear warning to stay clear and safe. When we protect Rand Water's servitudes, we protect our communities too. Rand Water, finding new ways.
The River Islanders believe the second half of the season is more demanding as they chase a win. But the Eagles have a master plan to prevail. This is the Bundesliga, football as it's meant to be. Do not miss out on SV Werder Bremen versus Eintracht Frankfurt on Friday, 16 January at 9:30 p.m. Live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 and SABC Plus. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
7-time record holders and 3-time continental champions are chasing the bronze medal. The Pharaohs tackles the Super Eagles. Who will finish third? This is the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Catch the third place battle between Egypt and Nigeria this Saturday, 17 January at 5:30 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC 2. Then on SABC radio stations at 6 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2025. It's game on everywhere.
For the love of the game.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. Easy to apply, no medical examinations, and no paperwork. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
7-time record holders and 3-time continental champions are chasing the bronze medal. The Pharaohs tackles the Super Eagles. Who will finish third? This is the Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Catch the third place battle between Egypt and Nigeria this Saturday, 17 January at 5:30 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC2. Then on SABC radio stations at 6 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2025. It's game on everywhere.
For the love of the game.
Mzansi, Powerball has reached a mega 165 million rand estimated jackpot this Friday. That's one of the highest jackpots to hit the country. Play Powerball for an estimated 165 million rand jackpot today for your chance at greatness. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
With the ever-changing financial landscape, it can be difficult to make sense of all the moves at times. Join me, Jimmy Moyaha, on the SAFM Market Update with MoneyWeb, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 to 7 p.m, as we break down the key market trends, top financial stories, and smart investment insights, all in one place. It's everything you need to stay financially informed and ahead of the curve.
As we celebrate 90 years of existence, SAFM takes you back to the voices that shaped a nation.
Tolani Gwala will be back again for you 6 to 9 Monday here on SAFM.
And
thanks, Tolani. Good morning and welcome to Morning Talk with me, Kim Gabadeli.
The name is Bonge Kwala. Good to be with you till midday today. Let's engage South Africa.
Welcome to Morning Talk on SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader, with me, Rowena Bird.
90 years of trusted voices. This is SAFM. You're listening to Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
It has indeed been 90 years of trusted voices, and the conversations that move the nation still continue with old voices as well as new voices alike on SAFM, celebrating 90 years of a milestone this year. It's just gone 10 past 2 o'clock. In fact, it's closer to 2:15 looking at the clock. And the inquiry still continues in Cape Town at the ad hoc committee, at Parliament's ad hoc committee, with General Dumsani Khumalo still fielding those questions. And a large number of the conversation today thus far has really centered around unpacking a lot of the evidence that he led yesterday, including probing his accusations that the majority of the SAPS in Gauteng was seen to be compromised. There's around 38,000 SAPS members in Gauteng, and so a big part of the question this morning was, is he really saying that the entire SAPS is somehow compromised in investigations and in bed with criminality and the cartels? And if so, it begs the question of, does South Africa, and in particular Gauteng province, even have a police service to speak of? And what are you and I supposed to then have trust and faith in when it comes to the services and the conduct of the SAPS, but also talking about a lot of the systems reforms that must be put in place in order to turn around the situation broadly at the South African police services. Let's dip back into that ad hoc committee, and we anticipate that it's going to take us until the top of the hour. So it's most likely that the next voice that you hear is going to be that of my colleague Ashraf Gada. Should anything change, then I'll be back with you before 3 o'clock. But should it not, then this is the point where you and I bid each other farewell, and we wish you a fantastic weekend.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee, live on SAFM.
That all posts in crime intelligence directed that all posts in crime intelligence be frozen. what has happened with that directive? I think you did say that there are vacancies in crime intelligence which need to be filled. Has this been discussed with the acting minister, Minister Kachalia?
The directive has not been discussed with the acting minister in my presence. I'm not aware of any discussions. Yesterday, during my testimony, I referred to the discussions that I've had with the National Commissioner, whereby he indicated that the posts from our environment that were halted will be re-advertised. The task team is continuing with its work, so I'm not sure of the third point then as to what is the impact, because it's more related to visible policing.
I'm almost there, Chair. In dealing with the SAP's senior management, do all senior members have security clearance and so have access to classified or confidential information? And I ask this question in the light of what appears to be still differences and tensions within senior management level.
Yes. So not all senior management have security clearance, and it's a question that one cannot answer in this fashion of discussion, because one of the senior managers' security clearance might have expired yesterday. Then here I say is having, because security clearance has got timeline. So it's a question that needs to be asked, and then one then goes to the system and provide the accurate, especially if you are under oath, the accurate answer.
Then to access telecommunications of a person, private person, or an organization entity, is authorization required from a magistrate or a judge, where you have to submit an affidavit to get that authorization?
Yes, in terms of Act 70, then you need the authorization from the judge.
So even crime intelligence conducting covert operations have to do this, except that you will go what they call ex parte to a judge or a magistrate in chambers, submit the affidavit, and the magistrate or the judge will look at it.
No, the intelligence community is afforded a dedicated judge that is dealing with their applications.
And that judge is not on your list. Okay, this is the last question. It's actually for you to confirm. I shared with you this morning some documents which were actually privileged or confidential about your arrest, and we know from your statement that you've taken it on review, and from what we've shared this morning, it appears clearly that there were a number of irregularities. And it doesn't seem as if the case, you will succeed, or alternatively, IDEC will withdraw their opposition to your application.
It confirms the evidence that I touched upon when I referred to the coincidence of the 6th of December. So everything up to so far, including the information that we discussed this morning, it's still confirming that coincidence.
That's the 6th of December is one of our important dates. That was the date when Molefe was arrested. But it's also an affidavit with signed in Cape Town and commissioned in Pretoria. Or something to that effect.
That's correct.
Thank you very much, General, and thank you for your time and your support and your dedication to the good cause.
Thank you so much, Zoleka Kodash. Thank you so much for being with us from the first day until today. Andrew Bennett and Jason Felix. Thank you so much, guys. Advocate Mkhwaitz, when we were at the Khosi Mampuru during that week, these journalists could not have space just to take photos, because they were overcrowded by people who are not going to be with us. So these journalists have stood the test of time, and I want to thank you so much. And I believe that your supervisors are noticing the work that you are doing. I just felt that I must recognize you and thank you for the work that you are doing for your respective institutions, but also keeping the people of South Africa informed. Advocate Arendse and your team, Advocate Norman Arendse, Advocate Maria Mkhwaitz, and Advocate Bongiwe Mkhize. We also want to thank you for the sterling work. We are going for a very busy week next week with Mr. McBride coming here on Tuesday and Wednesday, and Mr. Julius Mkhwana is coming on Thursday and Friday. We just want to thank you so much for that. Honorable members, thank you so much for your commitment and your contribution in the work of the committee. General Kumalo and your support team, we want to thank you so much for spending the last 2 days with us. We are going to have a committee meeting on Monday at 10 o'clock to deal with the issues that we must deal with, preparing for the next week and the other weeks. I want to thank the staff of Parliament, led by you, Nicolette, for your ever-presence, and the staff of political parties here. Honorable Sols.
No, Chair, I just wanted to remind you that one other journalist was also here from day one, Jason.
Who is that one? Jason Felix.
Yeah, he's from day one.
No. I recognized him. Yeah, and I read the name. I was looking right at in his eyes when I read the name. He can confirm that I read his name. They will always be here. We must give them the title of Honorable. Say Honorable Zoleka, Honorable Bennett, Honorable Jason. It sounds good, eh? Honorable Skosan.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, for acknowledging them. But those who were mentioned here day before yesterday who are not here, I think we must call them as well, Chair. Thank you.
Who are those that were mentioned?
Those ones, your Maria Tam, your Peter Tutoy, your whatever. Those ones who are.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
I am mentioning these ones because these are the faces that I see here every day. And let me tell you something that is very encouraging. Have you been aware that in most of the cases, in Miester Khafale, they arrive here before all of us? When we arrive here, in fact, sometimes when we leave our homes, Zoleka is already on television telling us what we are coming to deal with when we come here. It's very, very encouraging, and we want to thank them collectively so much for the work that... Honorable members, I just want to to remind you that in our last meeting, there were matters that honorable members have raised which they will want them to be discussed in our next meeting. Just make sure that those items, you remind the Secretariat about them so that they must not miss the agenda of Monday. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend. This is the weekend of the final of the Africa Cup of Nations. It's the Africa Cup of Nations. Just give yourself time to see what is happening on the continent. Thank you so much. Because the Monday meeting, honorable members, is virtual. So just know that Tuesday we're starting at 11 o'clock.
You are listening to the Ad Hoc Committee live on SAFM. If we have rights, shouldn't we also have opinions? SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. As the nation seeks answers, SAFM brings you live, uninterrupted coverage of Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee, investigating allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. You can also stay up to date with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System. Stay informed, stay connected. Tune in live on SAFM 104 to 107 and follow the coverage across our digital platforms live on Facebook, X and YouTube at SAFM Radio. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. Bridget Masinga, weekdays on The Full Circle.
And just like that, the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee has adjourned for the weekend, ending off wrapping the testimony by General Tumsani Khumalo this afternoon. We'll see how things continue on Monday, whether or not we pick up where we have left off, continuing with his testimony, or whether we'll be joined by someone new. And ending on a high note there with the chair, obviously wishing everybody a great weekend and setting the tone for what is set to be a riveting Africa Cup of Nations final. A lot of South Africans I saw on social media saying that, well, it is very clear that going into this final that all South Africans are going to be Team Senegal, is it not? As Senegal is taking on the host nation Morocco come Sunday, the 18th of January. We'll actually have more on that conversation tomorrow on the Jet Set Breakfast with Len Mulegwa, our sports producer. He's going to unpack some of that for us. But there's still lots happening by way of the news circuit. Of course, you do know that a large part of the country is gripped by floods at the moment, with that level that red level warning that has been sounded in Limpopo as well as in Mpumalanga province. Great flooding happening there. In fact, the Kruger Park is underwater as we speak, and large parts of Limpopo are also underwater as we speak. So we're going to bring you the updates in as far as everything that's transpiring there during the course of the afternoon. And of course, unpacking also, Ashraf is going to come through at 3 o'clock and unpack everything that has gone down this afternoon at the Ad Hoc Committee during that questioning session. For us, it is 2:30 right now. We're going to go into the headline news with Onde Lambana, and then we'll come back on the other side and try and catch up on some regular programming. And of course, you do not know that part of our regular programming is, of course, our kids features. So we're going to go into Nalibali on the other side.
Thank you, Bridget. On the news headlines, British American Tobacco says it has begun engaging workers and unions in the Section 189 process that could result in up to 230 job losses at its sole cigarette factory in South Africa. Clashes have erupted between foreign nationals, members of the Mkondo Sizwe Party, as well as lobby group March and March outside the Addington Primary School in Durban. And the party of the Ugandan presidential candidate Bobi Wine says the security forces have surrounded his house as votes are counted from yesterday's election. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Is there ever a bad time for a good conversation? SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
And welcome to Nali Bali. Have you ever seen someone take more than they need? Maybe grabbing all the sweets, keeping all the toys, or not wanting to share? Sometimes we forget that being greedy doesn't make us happier. In fact, it can make others feel sad, left out, or unfairly treated. When we take only what we need and share what we have, something special happens. Everyone gets a chance to enjoy, play, and feel included. Sharing brings joy, builds friendships, and helps us learn to care for one another. But greed closes the door to kindness and makes it hard for other people to trust us. So next time you have something special, a treat, a game, or even your time, remember that sharing doesn't make you lose anything. It actually makes your world bigger, brighter, and full of happy friends. Today's story is called Flee, written by Kai Tuomi. But before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and... Long ago, when the world was young, Flea was not tiny like he is today. Back then, Flea was almost as large as an elephant, and when he jumped up and down, the bush felt shook.
Oh no! Grab everything and run for it! Here comes Flea!
The animals of the village would shout when they saw him coming. The animals left with whatever they could carry: pots, pets, glasses, food. They made for the hill near their village to watch as Flea jumped and sailed through the air, high enough to blot out the sun for a moment. Flea landed with a crash, breaking whatever happened to be in his way. Houses were squashed flat, gardens were destroyed, and fields were left pitted with holes. Flea only stopped jumping to drink whatever the other animals had left behind in their rush to escape, and to eat whatever he had not flattened.
Oh, there goes my precious marula juice. I was saving that for the end of year party,
said Impala, sniffing.
I cannot believe it. Now he's eating my grasshopper cakes. I was keeping those for Elephant's birthday bash,
Chameleon said.
Oh, at this rate, there won't be a birthday bash. Flea just smashed the roof of our village hall,
said Elephant, trumpeting.
That is it. We cannot go on like this,
Secretary Bird said, stalking about on her long legs.
We could try talking to Flea,
suggested Elephant.
Baboon already tried that. Flea won't listen. He thinks that just because he is big and because he can jump, he can do whatever he likes,
said Impala angrily.
Guys, what can we do then?
Chameleon asked.
We go to the gazoo,
said Secretary Bird.
The gazoo? We can't do that, Secretary Bird. You never know what you're getting when you go to the gazoo.
Impala whimpered.
Well, it has to be better than what we're getting right now. Fine then. We'll leave at once,
said Elephant. And so the animals set off across the bushveld. The gazoo lived in a hut made of giant dried flowers. As the animals neared, they noticed purple smoke billowing from the hut's chimney. Around the hut, flags of many colors fluttered on the enormous thorns that someone had rammed into the ground.
I'm scared. We should go back.
Impala said.
No, the gazoo can help us,
said Secretary Bird, puffing out her chest.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
A loud, friendly voice. The gazoo appeared in the hut's doorway. His body was covered in feathers plucked from different birds. 4 yellow eyes picked out from the feathers.
Well,
said Secretary Bird, looking down at her own feathers.
We have a problem with Flea.
Ah, he who jumps, isn't it?
Asked Gazoo. Elephant nodded.
Yes, Flea ruins everything he jumps on, and everything else he just eats and drinks. Ah, so is he greedy too, you say?
Asked Gazoo.
The greediest. He ate all my grasshopper cakes,
said Chameleon, changing colors in excitement.
In that case, this may help you,
said the gazoo. A spindly hand appeared from the feathers holding a blue bottle.
If he who jumps were to drink this potion, well, let me tell you, you will see.
Once back in the ruins of their village, the animals found Flea resting against an umbrella tree. On their way back from visiting the gazoo, they had come up with a plan to get Flea to drink the potion.
Oh, Flea, you forgot to eat this.
Said the animals, putting all the abundant food on a table. Flea opened his eyes and looked over the food.
Oh, I'm feeling rather hungry.
Flea's eyes fell on the blue bottle.
What is that? Forget about food. I want that. Give it to me.
Flea said excitedly.
Oh, no. You can't have this. This is a special mountain juice that they say is the most delicious drink in the entire bushveld,
said Elephant. Before Elephant could finish talking, Greedy Flea sprang forward and snatched the potion from him. With one big gulp, Flea drank it all.
Well, I wouldn't call that the most delicious juice in the bushveld. Actually, it was,
said Flea, licking her lips. Flea burped, then whistled. Her legs began to twitch and her hands to rattle. Her eyes changed color.
What's happening to me? I'm shrinking!
Flea shouted. Her normally big voice became squeakier and squeakier. As the animals watched on, Flea shrank until soon she was no bigger than a peck of dust.
What have you done to me?
Flea shouted, hopping about on the ground. The animals could not see her. They could hardly hear her because she was so small.
She's gone,
said Impala, laughing.
Gone? I haven't gone. I'm right here.
Flea shouted. Flea launched herself into the air, and she landed on Impala's back and took a bite.
Ouch! Something just bit me,
shouted Impala.
I'll give you some ointment later. But for now, it's time to celebrate because Flea is gone. Let's have a party,
said Chameleon. And even though the angry, greedy flea that was no bigger than a peck of dust kept on biting them, the animals did just that. And so we come to the end of another Nali Bali story time. Today's story was called Flea, written by Kai Tuomi. Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit the Nali Bali website www.nalibali.org or Mobi site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages, as well as tips for reading and sharing stories with your children to grow their potential. Also look out for the bilingual Nali Bali Reading for Enjoyment supplement with great children's stories and activities, available in newspapers. Nali Bali, it starts with a story.
Stay on top of all meaningful, top trending stories right here on SAFM. Leading the conversation. It's that time of the year again. Back to school. New uniforms, fresh books, and new beginnings. As learners return to the classroom, let's encourage them to dream big, work hard, and stay focused. Parents, teachers, and communities, this is where the journey continues. SAFM wishes all learners a safe, successful, and inspiring school year. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. These are the weekend shows on SAFM. Music of Africa with Sheila Ndikumana. The Weekend View with Bongiwe Zwane. The Jet Set Breakfast with Michelle Constant. Seasons with Khomotso KG Mwekezi. The Soundtrack of Your Life with Ernest Pillay. Weekend Soundowner Classics with Kutlwano Masote. Spotlight with Zai Khan. The Weekend with John Kherika. Shifting Your Lens with Bertha Charuma. This is SAFM. If you're active on social media and love SAFM, we hope you'll take a moment to like or follow our SAFM page on Facebook and Twitter. These are the best places to find all the guest information, conversations, and stories you love from your favorite presenters, along with regular updates from SABC News. And don't forget, you can send your questions to feedback@safm.co.za. SAFM, leading the conversation. You are listening to The Full Circle.
All right, as we try to wind down the show in the last 15 minutes of it, we are catching up with Suela Langeni, a co-founder of the book Circle Capital and author of the children's book Making Friends with Feelings. By the way, because the ad hoc committee had a jigged schedule today, you might actually want to reflect and share your thoughts with us around the sentiment that was shared by General Utumsani Khumalo around the SAPS, because if he says, in Gauteng, the vast majority of men and women in service could be compromised in investigations in one way or another. Yes, I know he tried, to explain that during the course of the morning. How does that leave you feeling as a citizen of Gauteng who has to be in engagement with the SAPS in one way or another at some point? It's either they're coming to your house or your business, if an incident has happened, or you're going to the police station to open up a case because an incident has happened. How does that leave you feeling in terms of trusting in them, having faith in the execution of the job that they have been tasked to do, protect and serve? Or does it perhaps even affirm the sentiment that you have around the SAPS in this province in particular where we are broadcasting from. I know KZN people have a different relationship right now with their police services, thanks to General Nhlanhla. So they might have a different feeling and sentiment towards their police services at the moment. Our lines are open on WhatsApp. You can give us a shout and let us know what your thoughts are on that. 061-410-4107 is our WhatsApp line. Siwela Langeni joins us now, co-founder of the Book Circle Capital and author of the children's book Making Friends with Feelings. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. And you, Bridget?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, let's get to it. I'm hoping, Siwela, that probably in the next year, you and I are going to be dissecting a book that speaks to everything that's been happening at the Madlanga and at the ad hoc committee.
Most likely. I'm sure our investigative journalists are busy working. I'm sure. We've seen them all. And so I'm sure someone is working on it.
Absolutely. In the meantime, while we wait for that, you've got some titles that you want to ignite our taste buds with.
Yes. The first on the list is This Country Hates Our Men. And then slash, the cover, if you see it, then it cancels men and says boys. It's a brand new, very provocative from Dr. Mzamo Masito. He says, he opens with this, you always hear people say, I don't hate boys, I hate men. This is a provocative statement which sets the stage for this exploration of this complex relationship that South African society holds with its black and colored men and boys. This is an urgent calling that Dr. Mzamo is having us to look at through the work that he does through African Men Care, which is a non-profit organization where he unpacks this interlocking crisis facing black boys and men around, educational disparities, mental health struggles, pervasive violence, and fractured relationships. He wants to illuminate a path forward to say, every man and every boy is not merely, every man is every boy. It's not just an observation, but a call to action to say, before they became men, they were boys. The struggles that adult men face today are often rooted in unaddressed needs and unrealized potential of boys they once were. Where we hear people saying, "Awe kamatoda." It's a stark warning without decisive intervention that we risk losing an entire generation. This book, jumped at me as a mom raising boys. I had to just take note, and I look forward to even talking to the author at some point. It reveals how individual trauma metastasizes into collective crisis when our boys lack, that robust interior lives and positive role models. The repercussions echo through families, through schools, communities. Hurt boys mature into hurting men. Which perpetuates cycles that impact everyone, including girls and women in their lives. So this is a sobering one, brand new, off the press, launched this month.
And in fact, Siwela, this is a conversation that we too on the show have a vested interest in. By way of disclosure, I know Mzamo. And I've engaged him a few times. I've seen him engage also on platforms, that were exclusively for women, gatherings exclusively for women. And I saw when this book came out, when another celebrated South African author, Ukaya, really sort of shared the release of this book, I guess, to spark conversation on his social media.
Yeah.
Because of that provocative statement of the title, This Country Hates Our Men / boys. The statements that came out of social media immediately after that, without people having engaged the book, the content of the book, and unpacked the mind and the thinking of the man. I saw people boldly go rubbish. I saw people boldly go pathetic. That was just the immediate response to just seeing the words coming at them. And I was saying to my team, and I go, in the context, and a lot of my team also know Mzamo, and I was like, in the context of us knowing him not personally like that, but knowing him and knowing how his mind works as a professional and a person and on a personal level to some degree, and knowing that he's a father to girl children. I found it interesting, just the polarization of emotive response to this, and particularly from women who almost felt like they were being attacked. And I thought, well, should we not give space for us to first engage the content of the book and then engage the author, to sort of substantiate and unpack his thinking, and then let's create the discourse, because I think the marketer in him deliberately chose that provocative title.
Yes, because that will definitely make you stop and think. I saw it of another author, Professor Alistair Mukwena, on his post, also engaging. And I mean, I immediately set up. I'm like, what is this? And I guess, without feeling defensive, I just wanted to see what more details. I reached out to the publisher, Tracy McDonald, to say, can I see more information? And when reading deeper into this, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. I mean, all of us have said this, that we are leaving boys behind. We are leaving boys behind. What's going to happen? I remember years ago, Azania Musaka did like a long post around, when there was a big movement around taking the girl child to work, saying, guys, I'm not fighting. I'm not saying, let's stop doing it, but I'm saying let's also do movements for boys.
Yes.
Because they need to almost grow parallel, because then we're going to see the stark, differences between which, and we coexist. We cannot have one without the other. So yeah, I get that, and social media is tough like that. That people sometimes just look at headlines and then they make foregone conclusions.
But and it's interesting, and we want to engage. My colleague Koketso, I think had engaged Umzamo over the last couple of days around the book, and we have a plan to also sit down with him. We're just busy reading the pages of the book. But interesting to that conversation as well, that you bring up the bring a girl child to work, because part of the discourse, and I'm always in two minds about this conversation, right? Because I feel like the world is engineered for the success of men. And so there needs to be a deliberate focus in order to equalize the playing field, but at the same time, I also get that argument about young men. And it's been interesting in the days that I've seen men pick up the conversation on social media. And write things like, for instance, at I am Koshek Karin wrote recently, I saved this tweet, he said, "Zero surprise young men are far behind the curve financially. Trashy red pill content, bad hustle bro advice, online gambling, forex trading, porn addiction, alcoholism, poor role models, limited education, constant victimhood mentality. The downfall is largely self-inflicted." And he was unpacking stats that were looking at finances and where women and men are in the country. But also another gentleman at Jolie Collingston wrote, "The boy child is being left behind by his father, and by the look of things, his uncle and his brothers too." And that started a whole engagement, because people are saying it wasn't government that initiated take a girl child to work. It was private entities seeing a gap. Where are the male equivalents to say, let's take a boy child to work?
Yeah. And I think that's what Dr. Mzamo is getting. He's not saying it's a woman that hates the boy child. I think it's a collective. As soon as you as a father are then vacating that position, you must know then that the son that you've left behind, you are inflicting that harm on them. So if you are in the decision-making position and you're not making sure that you're bringing them up. So I don't think he's saying it's just the women who are doing that. And those conversations are, and we can't get into it with absolute views and of saying that my way is their way. It must, and I think that's the purpose of the book, to encourage us to have these conversations, to then, discern in our own spaces, how can we address this. And I agree with you that the world is designed to make boys succeed. But then the emotional piece, I think, for men, we're not seeing that catch up.
Absolutely. We're fast running out of time, Siwela. Just a quick one. And I think I was debating with my team. I was like, did we have just a quick little overview of this book leading into December? Let me tell you something. By Nozibel.
Yes, we discussed it in December. Yes, so let me tell you something. It's a phrase that she uses to open up videos that she shares. I mean, we know her to be this vlogger, and it's a phrase she does and often shares devotion, revelations based on scripture. So that's the book we discussed in December, and I hope we do have her on the line. I'm not sure if we do.
We struggled to get her on the line today, but next week is still another day. So we'll leave it there for today with you, Siwela, and we'll jump to WhatsApp and get a sense from our listeners in as far as the ad hoc committee is concerned. But thank you so much for engaging this conversation, and we will endeavor to remind you also to be tuned in when we do secure our chat with Dr. Mzamo Masito, who is, I think, one of the most phenomenal men who walk this planet. Let's take a quick... Well, actually, no, we're going to wrap it here for today. We're going to wrap up with your voice notes regarding that ad hoc committee, some bold statements made there. Also, one of the things that came out today were around the number of ghost employees at the SAPS and what measures are being done to turn around some of the policies and issues there. There is a plan, and hopefully that plan will see much backing from all the stakeholders. That is where we leave it from our end. Ashraf is coming through between 3 and 6. May the conversation continue with you. Inshallah, God willing, we get to do it again.
This is SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. This is SAFM.
Just tell me about how this concert series.
On the top stories, looming job cuts on the British-American tobacco factory in South Africa and clashes erupt between foreigners at the Addington Primary School in Durban. For SAFM News, I am Ondela Mbana, and a very good afternoon. British-American Tobacco says it has begun engaging workers in unions in the Section 189 process that could result in up to 230 job losses at its sole cigarette factory in South Africa. BAT confirmed this week that it was shutting down its Heidelberg plant in Gauteng, blaming the rapid growth of illegal cigarettes. The company says nearly 3/4 of all cigarettes sold in the country are now illegal, making local production too costly to continue. Head of Corporate and Regulatory Affairs at BAT Sub-Saharan Africa, Johnny Muloto, explains.
It means that as a business that is now operating only at 35% or a manufacturing facility that's operating at only 35% of its total capacity, you are unsustainable or unviable. It's no longer possible, to keep this local factory going. So that is the main driver behind this, because you are competing in an unequal playing field.
Clashes have erupted between foreign nationals, members of the Mkondo Sizwe party, as well as lobby group March and March outside the Addington Primary School in Durban. The MKP and March are protesting against the admission of children of foreign nationals at the school. The protest started when schools reopened on Wednesday. The protesters claim that the school failed to place more than 50 South African children because children of foreign nationals have taken spaces. Police had to step in to separate the groups. March and March founder Jacinta Ngobese Zuma.
Way before July or June, we've been saying prioritize South African children. They've been coming here, they've got proof of the forms and everything. And I'm saying, as a principal of a school or as a Department of Education, how do you decide that let me give or allocate the spot to a Nigerian or a Congolese or Ethiopian from God knows wherever country they're from, over a South African who submitted the documents at the same time, because they're trying to use this excuse of us South Africans being late.
Neither the school nor the school governing body could be reached for comment. Limpopo MSc for Transport and Community Safety, Violet Mate, says the department will work with scholar transport operators to fast-track the processing of permits. This follows the impounding of 18 vehicles operating without permits in the Mogalakwena municipality this week. 24 more scholar transport vehicles were impounded yesterday in Polokwane for operating without permits. Operators have cited challenges when applying for permits. Mate has urged operators to comply with traffic regulations for the safety of learners.
As the department, what we want is to make sure that these people are complying with the law of having scholar transport or operating a scholar transport. Now we are here to talk about the safety of our children. We are here to talk about the permits that they must comply. All these people, they know that they must comply. They were saying, what we want MSc, we want permits. When are we going to get permits? It's not about the money that we are making. It's about the lives of our kids.
The Department of Water and Sanitation has warned residents living near flooded dams in Limpopo to adhere to safety precautions. Prolonged heavy rainfall in the province has resulted in several dams reaching full capacity, with some now overflowing. The department says 14 of its 19 dams have exceeded full capacity and are currently operating above normal supply levels. Water and Sanitation spokesperson Wisande Mavasa explains.
The Department of Water and Sanitation would like to issue an urgent public warning regarding critically high water levels of multiple dams across the Limpopo province. The persistent rainfall and strong inflows have resulted in 14 of its 19 monitored dams exceeding 100% capacity, with several structures operating significantly above full supply level. This presents a tangible safety risk to communities, infrastructure and recreational users in proximity of these dams.
The bail application of Victor Majola, the man accused of orchestrating the assassination of Warwick DJ Wara Stock, has been postponed to the 26th of January for judgment. This comes after the defense attorney earlier requested to present more evidence of the CCTV footage that has been circulating on social media of the day Stock was killed. Magistrate Annalise Slapi denied that request, questioning the legitimacy of the video footage, saying that it could have been tampered with or already edited.
Case is postponed to the 26th of January. It will be for court judgment. You are still in custody.
The party of the Ugandan presidential candidate Bobi Wine says the security forces have surrounded his house as votes are counted from yesterday's election. The former singer is the main opponent of President Yoweri Museveni, who is seeking a seventh term in office. Police spokesperson Kituma Rusoke said that a presidential contestant, Wine, was a person of interest, adding that the heavy security deployment around his home was for his own security. The BBC's Anita Ngonge has more details.
Bobi Wine's party alleged that Wine has been put under house arrest. On his social media platform, Wine called on his supporters to go out onto the streets and demonstrate. 81-year-old President Yoweri Museveni is vying for a seventh term in office. The country is currently under a massive internet blackout. Last United Nations Human Rights Office claimed that the election will be marked by widespread repression and intimidation.
Recapping the top story, British American Tobacco says it has begun engaging workers and unions in the Section 189 process that could result in up to 230 job losses at its sole cigarette factory in South Africa. I'm Mondilambara for SFM News, headlines at 3:30.
In sports, the SAWACAF closely monitoring officiating concerns at the AFCON. SA Rugby announces nominees for annual awards, and golf says record Australian Open money is progress, but more is needed. More details at 3:30.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAFM 104.4 FM in Durban.
What's up? Why is there a horse in your driveway?
You ride savvy. Why drive a Mustang when you can ride one?
What the missus say?
Well, she had a bit of a long face, but now she's stable.
If you need a backup plan, We Buy Cars can sort you out.
Nah, savvy. This thing is eco-chic.
Stop horsing around, cowboy. Rather get one of these from We Buy Cars.
What's the horsepower on that thing?
More than one, Doff. More than one.
Don't be Doff, be savvy. We Buy Cars, geared for adventure, geared for you.
How's it, Mzansi? I'm Clementine Musimani. Step into the all-new era of telenovelas, comedy, and more on SABC2. Array!
As the nation suffers, SAFM brings you live, uninterrupted coverage of Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. You can also stay up to date with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System. Stay informed, stay connected. Tune in live on SAFM 104 to 107 and follow the coverage across our digital platforms live on Facebook, X and YouTube at SAFM Radio. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. The National Pulse with Ashraf Garda on SAFM. You're listening to the National Pulse, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
Hey man, it's Friday. I tell you what, we have a fabulous fireside chat guest coming up at 5, so 5 to 6. And I'll tell you more about her shortly. But welcome to the show. Welcome to the National Pulse, and there's lots we're going to cover before we get to the fireside chat. Amongst the issues, the goings on in Kenya, in the Ugandan election, rather, you may have just heard about it, regarding that Yoweri Museveni versus Bobi Wine and what that means, and the call to get to the streets from Bobi Wine because of what appears once again allegations of a rigged election. Often that accusation comes through. Now, let's however talk about a very, very topical issue. that there are clearly problems in Iran. And whether we're clear about what's going on or we're unclear, we do know now that there was an attempt potentially from the USA to attack Iran to try and rescue the, protesters or citizens, and these are all allegations, who were protesting against the Iranian government, and many of them were killed. That's the one part. The other part is the fact that all of that was happening. There was an accusation from the Iranian side that these protesters were effectively propped up, fueled by the Americans and by Israel as well. Now, that is still ongoing. While that's been happening, there's been a conversation about the Iranians regarding the BRICS Plus naval drills that takes place, and it's taken place on South African waters. Now, the Ministry of Defense and military veterans has now launched an inquiry into Iran's participation in the BRICS Plus naval defense exercises held over the past week, right? Now, what we do understand that President Ramaphosa at some stage instructed those in charge not to go ahead with allowing the Iranian involvement because of what was happening internationally. There's a sense that that's been ignored. Well, what really is the truth? What do we really understand by this? What are the implications? With me is Sophie McQuena, SABC News specialist correspondent. Sophie, there's lots of special things you're talking about every single day of the week. This one very much top of the pops, I would think.
Yes, it's quite important in a sense when you look at the relationship between South Africa and the Western countries. I want to emphasize Western countries because the issue of Iran's participation in this exercise, the concerns are not likely going to come from America only. Other Western countries might have a similar sentiments or views, because you know that the EU member states will definitely have reservations on these issues. As you know that on the conflict in Iran, in Ukraine, the European community have a view, the relationship with China, and of course Iran, and therefore you have to look at it holistically. Now, what we do know is that this exercise within the BRICS nations started in 2019, before you have these current standoff. And the first country to host this exercise was Russia. And Russia requested South Africa to host or to provide the waters. Why? Because South Africa is in the middle. The countries from the South America BRICS members, and these ones on this side, they can come down here and you have a middle venue so that everybody can participate. Even now, that was the intention, but the problem was that, judging from the tension, it looks like there was an instruction to persuade Iran to take a posture of observer rather than practical participation. And it looks like the president had given directive how this exercise must be handled. And it is not South Africa's activity, it is China, and it did the same like the Russians requested South Africa to provide waters because it's in the middle. And it's all about maritime trade, not war. But there was that instruction to take into consideration the current geopolitics. And now it looks like somebody, and in this case, the Navy chief will have to explain why there was no proper communication of the directive to look at how you handle this, taking into consideration the current geopolitics. So the board of inquiry will look at that, but the Navy chief will have to explain.
All right, let's then understand this part, right? So you are saying that our president instructed someone to relegate, let's put it that way, Iran from participant to observer with regard to this particular naval exercise. Can we confirm that the president did actually do that?
You see, the problem is they don't want to say directly the president said this is how we should go about it. But when you look at the communication released by the defense minister, it says president on how to conduct exercise will for peace. Instruction by the president on how to conduct exercise will for peace. So the minister wants to know that the way it is being executed, because it's ending on the 19th, was it in the directive of the president, where perhaps there were suggestions to do things in such a way you take into consideration the current tension.
Okay.
It's not clear. It will only be after the board of inquiry has done investigation. You will know where is the problem and whether there was a problem.
But I mean, let's be clear.
a-
Did Iran then participate in the naval exercise as a
Yes,
participant,
yes,
or did they
yes.
just observe? So
Yes.
they did participate.
No, they participated. The problem with Iran, and I'm going to be hard on Iran because Iran went out first to announce its participation. It was supposed to be China announcing who will participate, because this is China's program. It's just that because we are BRICS member states and we are in the middle. China said, in the same way Morsi, exercise Morsi, you availed your waters in Richards Bay when Russia was hosting, so that we can accommodate South America and us this side and yourselves. I am asking you do that, and South Africa availed this time around Simonstown. So it is not South Africa's event. It's just that South Africa has availed its waters for this exercise under the auspice of China.
But if it's not South Africa's event, why would then the president feel a need to instruct the Iranians to be relegated to observer status as opposed to participant?
South Africa cannot say it's not its territory. It's our territory. It's South Africa. You still have a say. You still have a say. It's like you saying, this is the venue, Sophie. You can host your guests, but you will still give me the do's and don'ts using my venue. Am I right or wrong?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, so we have a sense there was an instruction. We also take it that that instruction was not adhered to. I mean, is that accurate? And that's the basis of the inquiry.
Because it's not accurate because only the board of inquiry will be able to tell us whether the president's instruction was ignored or there was a misunderstanding, misinterpretation, or the communication didn't reach the relevant people. That is why the board of inquiry, in the South African National Defence Force, when there are any challenges or problems, you appoint a board of inquiry to arrive at a proper conclusion. And therefore, until the board of inquiry tell us or deliver a report as to what happened, it will be very difficult. It's like Lady R. Only after the board of inquiry had done its work, we could understand what was happening with Lady R.
Okay. When are we expecting the board of inquiry to conclude their findings?
The minister said in 7 days. So we don't know whether they will meet the deadline because they will have to speak to, one, the Department of Defense, different levels and officials, the presidency, different levels and officials, including DERCO, because defense was supposed to be constantly communicating with DERCO, because yes, the defense is the department is the last line of defense in terms of editorial integrity and